Hey there, guys. All right, we're going to talk about graven images. What is a graven image? The simple terminology would be it's like an idol, anything that we would worship. Let me give you a little bit of the background. There was a time when Moses was called to come on top of the mountain to be with God. It wasn't just Moses that was called, though. It was actually anybody who wanted to go up. But everybody were like, they were afraid. They didn't want to go up. They're like, Moses, you go up and see God, see what he has to say, and you come back down here and tell us, and we will do whatever it is that he tells us to do. And long story short, there is the story of the 10 Commandments, and God got the law and God got the word, to bring it down to the people. But the very first time when Moses came down, he had the 10 Commandments ready to give the people, and Moses found them worshiping an idol. What they had done, because God has created mankind to worship. While they were there by themselves, they weren't going up on top of the mountain to seek God. They were all left alone, and even Aaron was down there, and Aaron was Moses' helper, so it was like his right-hand man. And when he got down off the mountain, even Aaron was there, and the people were craving something to worship. So they had grabbed all of their gold, any rings, any kind of golden things that they had. They brought it together and they melted everything down and they formed it into a calf and they worshiped this graven image. It was in the shape of a calf. And what was interesting is when Moses came down and he was so angry, he's like, Aaron, what have you done? He's like, these people wanted this and we put the gold in the fire and then this calf came out. This cow came out. Of course, it's absolutely ridiculous because it's not just going to come out of the fire. So that is the beginning of when idols were created because we are created to worship something. Now, as we go through the Old Testament and as you are reading in your Bible, you will see different times. There are things called Asher poles. There are more idols. There are idols of Baal. It's Baal, and that would represent the god of money, the god of power, and the god of position. So now, especially this day and age, that is something that we combat all the time, myself included, because, we all live in America and we all need a paycheck, so we need the money, right? And we think that money is our provider. Or we want a position, we want that pay raise, so we want to be called a leader or a supervisor or manager, and we kind of want to work our way up the ladder because that is going to make us feel a little bit better once we get those positions. And of course, with power, same thing. We want to be in control. We want to be the ones who call the shots. And then whenever things get topsy-turvy and we lose a job or we get sickness or, some kind of tragedy or, catastrophe happens, we lose that control and it freaks us out. When in all reality, God is the one who is our provider. He should be the one in our lives that we depend on because he is all powerful, whether we recognize it or not, whether we worship him as all powerful or not. He still is. And his position, he is the most high God, the absolute most high God. But he gives us a choice on whether we are going to make him the God of our lives or whether we are going to worship other things. We are created to love and to need, and we have a void in our hearts. And sadly, there are so many things that take our attention away from God, and he has to turn us back to him. One of the best ways, and I do need to do a video on fasting. Maybe I will do that. Maybe that'll be my next one, is on fasting, so that we can get those other things that we have our affections turned towards, and the things that we are hoping in and trusting in besides God. We need to get those things out of our lives, and fasting is a great way to do that. So I will make another video, and now I will post that in here tomorrow. So that is the origination of a graven image. That is what an idol is. It's anything that we want to worship. And sometimes it's not like we bow down like, oh, I love you, money. But in our lifestyle, we get freaked out whenever it's taken away from us. So that's what an idol is. Anything that takes the place of us trusting in God to be everything that we need. Okay? All right. Love you guys. And we'll see you tomorrow with fasting.